Hello everyone and welcome to another What's Wrong With. This time I'm going to talk about TellTale games. And you might wonder, well, what's wrong about TellTale games? I mean, they're getting a lot of graphic adventures, very good ones like the first season of Walking Dead and Back to the Future. What else? Recently the Game of Thrones and season 2 of Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us and whatnot, right? But you see, the thing is, and I might get a lot of backslash against what I'm going to say, but I don't think TellTale Games is making graphic adventures anymore. I mean, I think they started making graphic adventures, yes. I mean, they began with, well, not exactly with Sam and Max, as I was going to point out, but they began with, for me, they began with Sam and Max because it was the first game that I played. What was it? Save the World, if I remember correctly. And when I heard that they were coming out with Sam and Max, I instantly thought, well, they're going to fuck it up, right? I should point out that I am a big fan of all graphic adventures. I mean, when I was 11, 12, I think I was 8 when Monkey Island came out. I think that was the first. And then I kind of grew up playing all the LucasArts big adventures and wow, so many incredible graphic adventures. I mean, the Sierra graphic adventures and I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Really, guys, if you can find this game, it's kind of obscure right now. I don't think it's abandonware, but if you can find this game, it's fucking amazing. It's beautiful. And so many others. Really, Grim Fandango, which is going to be a remake pretty soon, and all the Monkey Islands, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and I don't know what this guy's doing. He's going to kill himself. Yeah, I think. I don't know what the fuck was going on. So this is some old footage of me doing PvP that I never released. So I thought I'm going to talk about TellTale Games, and I'll just release, and I'm falling into a hole of Poison Hill. Really shameful display for me. So yeah, I guess you're gonna see a little PvP on some of my builds and Dark Souls 2 PC. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh, let's get back to the point. So TellTale Games, I guess they started making graphic adventures, you could say, when they did Sam and Max, and later they did Tales of Monkey Island, which I was so scared that they're going to fuck up that game. But when they started releasing it, I saw kinda the humor of Monkey Island, and of course it's not the same, right? But I saw the potential in the episodes, and though some of them were better than others, I really like Tales of Monkey Island, and they kept the puzzles for Sam and Max and for Tales, even for Back to the Future. They kept the puzzles really not that difficult as it was before in the old games. I'm not intending to sound like a purist of all graphic adventures, but they were really hard. I mean, the puzzles, some of them, the better ones were kind of logical, what you had to do, but some of them depended on weird things like some object that you still didn't find, and some pixel hunting, like its name now, where you recover when you grab the mouse and you kind of look for an item in the entire screen. Now you have pointers and you have hints and you have help, but in that time there were magazines, but really you should have to wait for a magazine to release a walkthrough or a solution to the game that you were exactly playing. So you have your brain to help, and that was that was the biggest thing, because when you finally defeated that puzzle, when you finally won and you move on in the game, it was the feeling like actually like Dark Souls and other games. Like when you defeat that boss that killed you so many times, you feel like you accomplished something, like you earned it, right? Like you didn't receive any help, you learned by dying or failing, and you earned the right to continue with the game. And this is the point that I'm trying to make with the new TellTale games, even from season 1. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about TellTale game as a developer of graphic adventures in the meaning of stories and characters, because they really can write beautiful stories. I mean, they have talented writers there. Excuse me. They really do, and they do a lot of dialogue, and it's really good. And they get you to feel for the characters and to engage for the story, and that's really difficult to do. It's really not that easy, guys. And it's about to fuck up here, yeah. And I'm not saying that they can write a story, because they can, and they can write characters or dialogue because they can. I'm just saying that these are not graphic adventures anymore. I mean, they may have started doing them, but now it's like it's what I call interactive cutscene. You could call it like quick time event, but it's not really quick time events, although they have quick time events sometimes. But it's not. They continue to name themselves graphic adventures or point and click adventures, and they're really not, because in latest installments like Tales of Borderlands and Game of Thrones, you have like big pointers in the screen that you have to move your cursor over it, and even in the older games, they kind of, in the season 2 of Walking Dead, this got worse and worse with every new iteration, and now they're going to release Minecraft, like an adventure story for Minecraft. Seriously, guys, but why don't you develop your own graphic adventure and you stop? Because I have to think that the publisher is making you do this weird shit, like making the games so approachable to all audiences and making them so easy. And I have to think that this was not what you will do as a developer. So why don't you find some publisher or talk with yourselves as publishers, because you guys publish a lot of these games yourselves, and why don't you do your own take on a graphic adventure, not a license whatever, right, as a series or a TV program or a game, just your own original story. I know you guys can do it. You can write story and you can write characters, and I'm sure you can write puzzles, because you started doing so, and they were pretty good. They weren't like super hard, but they weren't easy either. So really, that's kind of the whole complaint that I have with TellTale games. It just feels like interactive cutscenes. It just feels like you're doing some kind of weird quick time event, but with all the time in the world to do it. I mean, the thing with the dialogues, with the time dialogues, is kind of innovative, except that Alpha Protocol already did this, so it's really not innovative. You may, I have read some reviews they called the time dialogue system original and innovative, and it's really not. I think the first game that introduced this was Alpha Protocol, and I know this Alpha Protocol is a game of an obscure and highly criticized game, and a game that if you can enjoy it, you have to have the most patience in the world, which is not a good thing. It was written by Obsidian, and Obsidian is a really good mostly RPG company, and I really love Obsidian. I think they're releasing Pillars of Eternity, so I really think that when they are given time frames that are good, when they are not pushed to release something like they were pushed with Star Wars: The Old Republic 2, because when you play The Old Republic, the story is fucking amazing. I mean, when you play Knights of the Old Republic 2, the story is beautiful. Kreia and Nihilus, the bad guy, and the other guy that I don't remember the name, the one that is kind of kept in one piece by the Force itself, or he would just shut it apart. The one that was apprentice of Kreia, I don't remember the name, but it has, and the Exile, the story of the Exile, that is basically a hole in the Force, and so many fucking good concepts, and the game was rushed by LucasArts. But LucasArts, and it was ruined, because if you give time to the people of Obsidian, they can make a fucking incredible game. But if you rush them, they're going to release a game full of bugs and shitty gameplay. They are just an enterprise that cannot be rushed. Like look at Mask of the Betrayer, the Neverwinter Night expansion. It's fucking amazing. It's probably better than Neverwinter Nights. And they weren't rushed there. So really beautiful enterprise. But I went into a weird tangent there. I'm sorry, guys. Let's come back. So I was saying, yeah, I'm not criticizing TellTale games for the story or for character development or dialogue, but they're not making graphic adventures anymore, guys. So let's just stop calling them graphic adventures. They are making interactive cutscenes where you do shit when you're prompted to do shit, and you're not really solving anything. You're just going with the flow of the story. And I'm talking about the latest series, not the first one. And if you want, I'm gonna give you some pointers of real graphic adventures or puzzle games that have come out recently. I mean, if you want to look at a real graphic adventure heavy company, you should look at Daedalic Entertainment. They are developers and at the same time publishers of many graphic adventures that are actually point and click, like old times. And some of them are better than others, but they maintain a quality that is not really, you not really see it in a lot of games lately. Whispered World is a beautiful game. The trilogy of Deponia, if you can play those three games, beautiful games and really nice humor. The Dark Eye trilogy, well, it's going to become a series because in 2015 it's going to release the fourth one, so it's going to become the Dark Eye series. Night of the Rabbit is a very good one, totally original story. In 2015 they're going to release the Whispered World 2, which I'm really expecting. And if not a Daedalic, at least you can try the latest remake of Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers. I mean, that game is a piece of art. I mean, the original is beautiful, an amazing game, and I cannot stop recommending this game because now you have it with updated graphics, and I don't know if you have it fully voiced, but I know it's updated graphics and the story is incredible, and so now you have the chance to play a really good graphic adventure game. Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Father, guys. It's on Steam, so you can find it there. And yeah, so those are really good graphic adventures. Even the Talos Principle. which is not really a graphic adventure. It's more like a third person or third person, excuse me, puzzle adventure game, kind of like Portal, kind of like Portal. And I've heard it's really good. I haven't played it yet because I'm playing other games at the time, but I've heard everywhere that it's pretty good. So really, that's a good puzzle game to try. And I'm not saying don't play the TellTale games because they are shit. Not at all. I mean, they have good stories and they have good characters and good dialogue. And if you're into games that just that are like interactive movies that just tell you a story and you kind of go along with it, then you really should play the TellTale games because they're really good. They're as I said before, they're talented writers. They write good stories, write good characters. Even I'm surprised by what they did with Game of Thrones. I mean, again, it's a really easy game. You can't really fail. But if you want to be immersed in a Game of Thrones like environment and kinda play it like if you were part of the series and you are interacting with the characters and doing dialogue and whatnot, then it's just the right game for you. And if you are interested in Borderlands for some weird fucking reason, you like that game, or you like that universe, I mean, and you want to see more of it, then play Tales of the Borderlands. And Minecraft, well, I don't know what to say about Minecraft, but if you're interested in Minecraft, then you should play it when it comes out. I hope you got the point. I'm kind of tired of TellTale games just licensing everything and calling it graphic adventures. And maybe I come off like an old guy or like a ultra fan of old school graphic adventures. But the thing is, as I said in the first few minutes of the video, you have to think about what you were going to do. You have to really think and stop and realize what you were going to do before doing it. And when you finally went through the difficulties that were presented to you by the puzzles or a situation, you really felt like you were doing something. You really felt like you were moving the story forward, like you were the center of the story, and you were moving it forward. And that's kind of what I don't feel about TellTale games. Though they are again, they are good. They are very good written and very good characters are thrown into the mix, and it just feels like you're part of the story, but you're not the one moving it forward. I mean, it's kind of like the story is moving whether or not you're going to participate or not, and it's going to continue. Like I in Borderlands, and I'm guessing in the Game of Thrones too, you can seriously just shut up, just stay with your mouth shut and in a prompted dialogue with someone and just say nothing, and the game will continue, and it will just take into account that you said nothing in the situation. And I get what they're trying to do. I get that they're trying to encourage you to choose something, but timed conversations is not a really good concept, guys. It's not really when you can fail them because you are in total silence. It's not a really good concept because it just says to the player, excuse me, that the story is just moving forward with or without you. It's not really. That's not really a good thing to have in a video game, at least in my opinion. So I guess I said everything I wanted to say. This is the last invasion. I think I'm going to guard break this guy. Let's see. Yeah, I see it with a big shield. He won't be able to parry me. So here he comes. So have a happy new year, guys, and take care.